Hi, I'm Pam Patton, the Director of Eagle VA Services, and I'm here to talk to you today about some of the things that your VA can do for you. I get asked all the time, what should my VA be doing for me? And as an entrepreneur, you really should send some of this work over to a VA so that you can focus on things like making decisions for your business. So what are those things? Let's dive in and see. I've put two different categories of things that they can do, one for buying, the other for selling. And let's talk about this first thing. The very first thing that you should have your VA do, and one of the most important things that they can do for you, is call on FSBOs. That's not something that you're going to want to do yourself. It's tedious, time-consuming, and very difficult job to do. We will call on your leads up to 3 times each until we close them out. I will tell you some stats. Over 60% of the leads that are sent in to us are closed out simply because we cannot get somebody on the phone. It's shocking how many people list their properties for sale on websites that end up not even picking up the phone when someone calls to ask for information about their property. So of the people that we are able to get on the phone, about half of those we're not able to generate a PI sheet for, simply because it's already listed with a realtor or it's sold. The ones that are listed with a realtor, I would recommend that you check back in with those properties after a period of time of maybe 3 to 6 months to see if that property has sold yet. If it hasn't, send it back to us and we'll call that again. Of the properties that are generated a PI sheet on, probably a third of those are generating a yes PI sheet. So you can kind of work backwards to see how many leads you should be sending in to us. I would recommend maybe 10 to 20 a week that we call on, or more, depending on how many hours you have to spend with us. If you're a 25-hour client, you would be sending more. If you're buying time a la carte in 5 and 10-hour increments, stick with that 10 to 20 per week. One of the other things that they can do for you is research FSBOs. So researching FSBOs, that means that they are taking your criteria that you submit to us and they're finding properties that are listed for sale by owner. I know that you have the Gold Club lead service that will limit you as to 2 counties. With us, you don't have that limitation. You can list as many counties as you want, multiple cities if you want, or you can get narrow. Tell us what the dollar amount threshold, how many bedrooms you're looking for. All that information goes into what we will research for you. We will also run ads for you. So Ron has about 3 different templates that we can use to post I Buy Houses ads for you. And I would post those on sites like Craigslist and post it multiple times throughout the week. So that's another thing that your VA can do for you. The phone number that you want to put on those ads would not direct calls back to your VA, but should go to Pat Live. They have somebody available 24 hours a day. It's a live person. They use Ron's scripts, and that information is then sent over to you. You're going to verify that information, look it over, and then pass that to your VA to then call on. Once you have that buying machine kind of running smoothly, you're ready to purchase property. Now you're ready to make a sale on that property. So whenever you want to go through the selling side of things, the very first thing that you're going to want to do is create an info page. So what do I mean by that? That would be a single property website. You're going to send in information on the property, a description, pictures of the property. All of that will go to your VA, who can then create a single property website, and they can also post it on your website. I would recommend that you do both. Once you have that done, the next thing you're going to want to do is drive some traffic to those websites. So post it on Facebook, post it on Zillow, post it on Craigslist. Those are things that your VA could also do for you. All of those leads, all of those ads are going to need to have a phone number associated with them. You're going to drive that phone number to your IVR. It's an interactive voice response system. It's kind of like a voicemail system, but it's asking multiple questions. So it's more than what a voicemail can handle. So it'll ask a question and it'll record the response. All of that information is then translated into a downloadable script. A lot of times that information is hard to decipher, so your VA can also go in and listen to those and translate those as well. Some of the information will be collected off of a website, so if it's on your website or if it's the single property website, web forms will also help to collect that information, and then that information is then directly transferred into your contact manager. If it's done through the IVR, that information will then need to be fed into your contact manager. So I would send that to your VA to also put into your contact manager. So entering information into your database. They can then pull reports on your buyers list. So they can pull information from your buyers list, like what side of town everybody was interested in, what dollar amount they had to put down, any criteria that you wanted to capture from that IVR or from the web form, a report can then be generated on that. So for example, if you had an open house that was coming up, you wanted to have a list of buyers that you could then communicate with and say, hey, come to my open house. Your VA can then send an email or a text blast to that list of buyers to have them sent over to your open house. So those are some of the main things that your VA can do for you. I recommend that you do all of those. What I also recommend are follow-up calls. That's not something that I would recommend your VA does for you. Those are some negotiating calls or decision-making calls that you should be doing on your end. But they can set appointments, they can call and get more details on some of those properties. So I hope that answers a lot of your questions. Give me a call if you still have questions. If you're running into any issues with your VA, you can reach me at 904-262-0491, extension 127, or send me an email, pam@globalpublishinginc.com. I look forward to speaking with you. All right, thank you.